Welcome to Integrity Inspire, your daily dose of inspiration and motivation, featuring the bright and talented members of the Integrity Marketing Group family. Now, here's your host, Integrity co-founder and CEO, Brian W. Adams.
Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for joining today's Inspire podcast. Man, it's been quite the journey here at Integrity. We've had so many incredible partners join the Integrity family, and it's been humbling to see all the things that we're being able to put together here with all the things that we are doing together as an Integrity family. And today, I'm super excited to introduce you to our newest partner, a true hero, I think, in American history, Sean Schickel from the Patriot Family Financial Group. It is an amazing organization based in Fredericksburg, Virginia, right outside of DC, and they really focus on serving Americans with their Medicare plans. And I'm really excited to welcome Sean. Thank you so much for joining us as an Integrity family. I said early on that you were an American hero, and I truly believe that. My dad is a Marine, and I say is because once a Marine, always a Marine. And I know you're a proud Marine. And so I want to say on behalf of all of our Integrity family, thank you for serving this amazing country we're in as a Marine Corps leader.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Tell us a little bit about your Marine Corps background.
Okay. When I was a very young person, third grade, maybe fourth grade at the latest, you know, a lot of young boys, they grow up to want to be a left-handed quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, or they want to be a pitcher for the Boston Red Sox or something to, you know, live their dreams in the big leagues. For me, I wanted to be a Marine. It's all I ever wanted to do.
Was your dad a Marine?
No, I do come from a long lineage of Marines. My dad was in the Army, actually, for a short period of time. Weird story there, but I'm the youngest of five boys, and four of us joined the Marine Corps, and right out of high school.
Wow.
My uncle, he was a Marine in Vietnam. My grandpa was a pilot in the Navy in World War II, and so we come from a long lineage of service, military service, but specifically the Marine Corps. I have a stepbrother that's a Marine. My daughter's in the Marine Corps. Our cousin's in the Marine Corps. So there's a whole group of us that have a long lineage of history in the Marine Corps.
Man, well, thank you guys for your service. My dad is a proud Marine. I know that you know Tom Dempsey. His dad was a colonel in the Marine Corps, and we still call him the Colonel. I haven't got a chance to meet the Colonel, but it's amazing to hear those stories. And it just, frankly, I will tell you, I didn't think about this when I was a kid, by the way, but looking back now, I think we could have all benefited, and I certainly could have, if I would have served for a couple of years, like many countries do. Yeah. I think it would have made me a better person, better leader. We're in the most amazing country in the world. I know we've got our own problems, but man, listen, this is the most amazing country in the world. And I wish that more people saw it that way. And so seeing you serving the Marine Corps really inspires me. Now, I know you were in Iraq.
Yep.
You served in combat times. You went through a lot of challenging events. Tell us a little bit about what you can or not tell us something.
No, I'll tell you whatever.
I'd love to hear some things.
You know, so I served with a unit called 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines. In 2004, we found ourselves deployed to Iraq in what's a city called Ramadi, Iraq, which at the time was relatively tame, just outside, probably about a half hour away from Fallujah, maybe an hour or so away from Baghdad. And we went there, what we were trained to do in the first several weeks, we were doing what's called SASO, or Support and Stability Operations. The idea was to support the local government, to help build the government back up, and to support people, doing, let's call them public affairs type things, building schools and handing out soccer balls and just trying to build things back up for the local people. And after about a month or so, things rapidly changed into, let's call it a friendly atmosphere, or maybe a quasi-friendly atmosphere, to a full combat, day to day. We found ourselves in the fight of our lives. In April 6th through 10th of 2004, it was a really massive battle. We were fighting the entire city of 500,000 people with about 1,000 Marines. We had insurgents coming from all over the world, frankly, to try and fight with us. Wow. That was Al-Qaeda. There was people from Jordan and everywhere else. It wasn't just locals. And it was a really hectic week, to say the least. So,
man. I can't imagine.
By the time the 7-month deployment, we had, at the time, more combat on a day-to-day basis that the United States has seen going all the way back to the Vietnam days. And so We took a lot of casualties, but we certainly dealt our share tenfold and did what we were supposed to do. But you live with that for your entire life, and there's a lot of challenges. A lot of people were wounded or killed. About 1/3 of the unit total was killed or wounded. So it's not something you want to really be a part of on that end. But I'll tell you, the fight on a day-to-day basis, what the individual Marine did at you're talking your 18 to 22-year-olds, was just extraordinary.
Wow.
The effort that they put in and day out under direct combat. You're getting shot at every day. You're getting mortared every day, IEDs every day. And to live in that environment, it's an unholy environment. No one ever wants to find themselves in that situation, but you do the things that you need to do to come home to your loved ones. And I think, when you get involved in something like integrity and insurance and so forth, you look back on those days and you say, I'm just blessed to make it out of a place like that and to have an opportunity to help more people.
Man, I tell you what, thank you for that service. I can't imagine going through that. One of my favorite TV series it was a HBO series called Band of Brothers. I don't know if you ever watched that. In fact, I just watched it the other day. Robin and I love it, and we watch it every now and then. And we just rewatched it, and it was amazing to see all those things that people live with. But when Major Winters at the end, he says, one of his grandsons said, "Granddad, were you a hero?" And he said, "No, but I served with a company of them."
Oh yeah.
And just that bond that you guys has to still be so amazing.
Yeah, when you look at the core values of integrity, and one of those is service.
Yeah.
When you're out there, when I was young, I always thought it was about serving my country, and it is, I think, certainly to a degree. But when you're out there and you're in the fight, it's not about anything other than the person you're with to your right and to your left, and who's in front of you and who's in behind you. That's all you have. Yeah. And if you let them down, it's going to be a bad day for everybody. So you really learn about that brotherhood and that camaraderie of working together in partnership, which is another core value of integrity. And it's on a whole nother level when your life is on the line and when their life is on the line. And you're on your A game all the time. And if you're not, it's going to be a horrible day for some people, including yourself. So you really become in tune with everything, and you do the best job that you can at any given moment.
Man, well,
it's tough.
Again, thank you. Listen, and then you did, speaking of the best job you can, you then came back and you were in Washington, D.C., and you led for the Marine Corps the inauguration for President Obama in 2013, right?
Yes, sir. So a few years later, I found myself stationed at the Pentagon, and unique tour for sure. And I was asked to help, lead the efforts for what's called the National Security Command for Washington, D.C.
Wow.
And I was tasked with planning on behalf of the Marine Corps, along with all the other services, the 2013 presidential inauguration. And that was a big task. You're talking thousands of people to get on the same page, to lead them in the same direction. And everybody, it's not about rank at that point. You have civilians and you have other non-government folks and people who work for other government agencies, and they can tell you no anytime they want. You actually have to work with foreign countries. You have embassies from all over the world, and they have their own unique situation going on in Washington, D.C. You have the various police forces that you have to coordinate with, the Secret Service. And so this is a major undertaking. And you really learn, I think, it doesn't become about rank, but more about personality, making sure that what you're doing is right for not only yourself, but everybody involved, to get everybody to go in that same direction. And everybody wants to do a good job for the President of the United States, obviously, but certainly people have a lot of opinions, and you have to take all those opinions and formulate a good plan. And then you have to execute. And that is the most challenging, because everybody's going in a different direction at any given moment. You have a major security situation with the leaders of the free world in the power of the world, the seat of power in the world, which is Washington, D.C., all located in the same spot at the same time. And so you're talking about a major security scenario. World leaders, all the leaders of the United States are all right in the same area at the same time. So massive security issues and threats going on all the time. And so you speak about in tune with what's going on. There's a lot of stress, frankly.
Yeah.
So.
Man, well, you and I've talked about some of the things you've gone through and things you've learned, and I'm not going to ask you about some of those because we're not going to share those here. But it's eye-opening. Some of the threats are real. Thank God we have people like you and others who protect us, man.
The one thing that I learned, and you hit on it earlier from that entire experience and serving for 24 years in the Marine Corps, is thank God I'm an American. We have such an incredible opportunity here in America that they just can't get in the rest of the world.
Right.
I don't know that, I think maybe to some degree our current politics and the people just disagree for whatever they disagree. It's kind of getting lost, but the American dream is still alive and well. You just have to tap into it. And it's one of the things that I love about integrity, because it's here.
Yeah.
And the people that I spent speaking with and talking with and meeting with and learning from in the last 2 or 3 days, man, if you can't get it done here, you can't get it done anywhere.
I agree, man. So how did you transition from all of that into the insurance business? Because I know you didn't grow up wanting to be an insurance agent.
One day I had to grow up and get out of the Marine Corps. I was getting older. My body couldn't handle, everybody's 18 and I'm getting in the 40s. And so I had to grow up and do something and transition. And a friend of mine who's now an agent, this guy's a machine in terms of being an insurance agent, but he said, hey, I think you'd be good at going into insurance. And why? And he said, well, you can sell. We're gonna have to chip away some of the rough edges. I think you just have natural ability. And okay, so that's how I did it. And I started off in property and casualty. I didn't really care for that. Worked my way into life and ultimately into health. I struggled for the first few years, and I was struggling quite a bit, honestly. I wish I could tell you it was a smashing success from day one, but it wasn't. And what I found is in that experience is it's about the people you're around.
Yeah.
And at that time, I just wasn't around the right people. I don't blame anybody other than myself. But so many agents, I think, go in the wrong direction because they aren't associated with the right people.
Right.
Frankly, I was going along and I just was at my wit's end with the industry. I just wasn't doing well. And I wasn't a part of integrity at all in any way, shape, or form. It's like a Friday, and I just felt like a failure. And I had never failed at anything in my life. And I just went home and I thought, for a minute, a moment of weakness, and I think I'm going to quit. Went to bed because you have highs and lows.
Oh, yeah.
Went to bed, got up the next day and said, I'm not going to quit. I'm a United States Marine. We don't quit. So it's a funny story. About 6 months earlier, I heard of this group. This is about 2018. I heard of this group called Integrity on, I don't know, it was Facebook or maybe it was social media or YouTube or something. And I saw pictures of you and I said, this looks
if
like
that guy can do it, I can do it.
That's not how it went, but that's a good point. I didn't know anything about it. Just saw the things that I saw, and I thought, these guys are doing well. Why am I not doing well? That kind of thing. And I actually cold called Integrity Marketing, and I just said, I'm going to cut these people out of my life, and I'm going to go to the winners.
Wow.
And it's a true story. I picked up the phone. I spoke to a gentleman named Eric Peterson.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this the other day, and he referred me to ultimately Integrity, and within minutes, really, truly weeks, I instantly started doing well.
Wow.
And it was just simple things. Certainly had to chip some rough edges off of me, but just the support you get as part of being in the Integrity family, whether you're an agent or a partner, and things just happen almost instantly for me.
Man, that is such a great story. You've told me about that story, and Eric and I were chuckling about that. You just never know, like when you can help people. I remember, man, when we were starting Integrity, it was so hard. And I remember thinking like, man, everybody else is doing pretty well. Like, why am I struggling? And I was thinking, man, I got to get another job. Like I was thinking about waiting tables, and I'd waited tables at college at a Mexican food place. And I was like, I could probably go back and do that at night. I was never going to give up on the dream, but man, it's hard. But finally, when you find the right people,
It is.
It all comes back to people. We're a company powered by people. I talk about this all the time. This is a people industry. And if you ever forget that, you're going to be out of business. And so I'm glad that we found you, frankly, and you found us, because the people make all the difference. Now, we got to also enable our people with technology. And I know you are passionate about technology and some of the things when we first got together about some of the technology we're developing.
It's funny. You hear this phrase insurtech, and there's a lot of people that have been stealing it and using it for themselves. And I didn't know. I didn't know what that meant. Just a word for me. And then I did meet the folks here at Integrity, and let me tell you, The technology, if you're not tapped into modern technology, I think the nicest way I can say it, because it's not for me to release anything, but if you're not tapped into the technology that's coming to bear soon, as part of this incredible business of integrity, I think you're behind and you don't even know it. It's incredible stuff, and I'm at the forefront of technology in this business, and I have since I started, because I do think you have to be. You have to embrace it. The old school ways I think are still good, and they still are usable at times, but technology is the way forward, because we're just moving that way. 5 years ago, if you told somebody to enroll in Medicare, for example, online, they really struggle with it. Today, that's pretty much how they all do it. And so there's a whole world that is ahead of us that's exciting if you allow it to be exciting. And the things that I have seen that Integrity is working on and will bring in the future, extraordinary.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's so exciting. I tell people all the time, we're just getting started, and people chuckle sometimes about that statement, but I truly believe we are, because we're adding people like you that see that vision, that also have embraced the technology. You've seen the technology work at the highest of levels, right? And so if you think about what we can apply here, man, the sky's the limit. Now, you talked about two of our core values, and I love that you talked about our values. I'm super proud of the values that we have, and we're proud of being held accountable to those: integrity, of service, of partnership, of respect, but also family. And I'm proud of our Integrity family. It's one of my whys, is why I work so hard, is not only provide for my family, but all of our partners and our employees and our employee owners and everybody who's part of this. But you said that your daughter is in the Marine Corps. Tell us about your family. Yeah,
so my wife is similar to your wife, is a teacher. She's a middle school teacher in Fredericksburg, Virginia, big city, if you will. It's not really a big city. And she's been teaching for a long time, is going to retire in a few years so that she can get into insurance and be involved in the business. I have 3 kids. My daughter is the oldest. She's a first lieutenant now in the Marine Corps. She's a pilot. She's a drone pilot, actually. And so she just got her wings not that long ago. She's finishing up her training, and then she'll be doing her thing and sending nice messages to the enemies of the United States in the very near future. And carrying on with the family business, if you will, that we've been doing for some time now.
I love it. I love it. Well, hey, we are thankful for your service, your family's service, and for keeping us all safe. Here at Integrity, we have this belief that we're here to help people plan for the good days ahead. And I think the Marine Corps is doing that for America as well. So thank you for being our partner, man. We are so proud to be partners with Sean Schickel and the entire Patriot family. This is an incredible organization, and I can't wait to see what we can accomplish together. So thank you so much. Hope everybody has a great week. This is an incredible time here at Integrity. When you add people like Sean and his team to the Integrity family, the sky is definitely the limit. God bless you all, and have a great week.
Thank you.